Well, good morning, everybody. Hope everybody is enjoying the sunshine that's out. We are definitely appreciating it. All right, so what do we have going on today? The Collaboration Center. So I hope everybody's already been able to sign into Paragon. We still have some few more people coming. Housekeeping. So don't forget, at the sidebar of your GoToWebinar panel, the little orange arrow, we have a couple of handouts there for you. We have the Collab Center for Buyers, the regular full Collab Center, and then also how to edit your search criteria for your clients. Instead of deleting the old and creating a new, you can just go in and edit. So we're going to be in today through your contacts module. We will create a search for them. We'll also look at what their Collab Center looks like, the end user. Then we are also going to take a peek at what does it look like to add your sellers to the Collab Center as well. And that I'll be using one of my agents for, Miss Audra Jancic. She is one of here locally, just the next county over for me. And she always graciously lets me play in her account and add myself as the seller on her listings. Thank you for that, Audra. All right, I'd also like to welcome all of our vendored MLSs. We have multiple MLSs using the Paragon platform. We have East Central Association of Realtors is here. Southeastern Border Association is here. Who else is here? Greater Shiawassee Association of Realtors is also here with us today. So thank you, everybody, for attending the webinar. This is what I love about doing the GoToWebinar format, is we are able to cast a very wide net out there on the ability of everybody to join in on our classes. All right, and as usual, we are recording the class. So, I don't know if I'm going to be able to edit and get it up that quickly. Tomorrow is a staff at My Real Source. And then, so by the end of the week, I will get it there. But just so you know, I have all of our classes that we've done uploaded to our YouTube channel. And what is that one? Well, actually, I'll show you a really great link to get there. So I'm going to share my screen with you. And we're going to go with this one here. So I'm going to do this. All right. So right on our YouTube page, sorry, right on our My Real Source page, we have links here in the upper right-hand corner, but we know not all of you are using the same version of Paragon. So if you have a broker's MLS, that private label, meaning you have your own company logo in the upper left-hand corner and your brokerage info is here, just tap on the MLS button and that'll get you right to us. And still, if that doesn't get to you, to us, you might be a different association, you can simply go to youtube.com and then find My Real Source Media. So here we are. It's going to start playing. Thank you, Colleen. So it is My Real Source Media. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel because we are always putting out new classes for you guys. See, we're doing that for our Upper Peninsula and for all of the associations that are on our platform as well. They have their own YouTube channel, which is really awesome. All right, and don't forget to subscribe. Hey, email me if you do. I'd love to send you out some swag. I've got some really cool stuff here, from t-shirts to tin cups to water bottles. I absolutely love those. So if you want, you can send me let me know in the chat that you did it, and then I can send it out to your office, or if you want me to send it to your home address, I can do that too. All right, let me make sure I've got my questions panel up just in case. Now I am doing this all by myself, so sometimes, you know, my questions are over there. So I will be double checking to see what we have. All right, and our sharing here. I think we're doing good. All right, we got quite a lot of people in class today. So it is already, we are at 5 past. And generally I like to start right on time, but I know with webinars, people people are a little slower to join sometimes. So thank you very much for joining us today. Don't forget, you can always find our class schedule right here on the Paragon calendar. You'll see that here's our Collab Center class today, and the Education Corner, which has all of our classes in here. And I'll give you a quick peek on this one. The really cool thing about this is that you also have access to the YouTube channels nice and easy. Oh, and don't you love that blank screen? Well, something is going on with that. All right, so in the Education Corner, you have they're all alphabetical, our classes, with registration links under it, and then the YouTube button will get you to that particular playlist in our YouTube channel. So we have a whole playlist on the Collab Center. So if you didn't like hearing my class, you wanted somebody else's class, or maybe just wanted to look at the quick tips that are associated with the class, they are right in there as well. And I love the quick tips series. It's been my favorite. It's one of those things that we created during the pandemic. People needed videos, and so that's what we've been doing. It's a lot of fun. All right, so in the Collaboration Center, it's actually not a place to go. You don't go to your resources button and then click in the Collab Center. It's a function of your contacts module. So let's first get into that contacts module, and we're going to add your contact. Now the first step I'm going to show you, let me blow this up just a little bit for you guys. The first thing I want to show you is if you want to use that concierge mode, or actually it's called agent preview. And what agent preview is, it allows you, the agent, to preview those listings before they ever go to your client. Now, this is a manual process in a way, but it automates your manual process because it automatically searches for those new listings and sends them to you. The manual part is you have to make sure and approve listings to go to your clients. Now that is still a function. You cannot do that on Paragon Connect, the mobile resource. You cannot do it through the email button. Sorry, but you do have to log into Paragon, go to the contacts, and choose this, which we will show you how to do that. So for the moment, we're going to do new. So any new listings. All right, so my buyer, we're going to go with my favorite, Betty Buyer. She's always there for me. Okay, so number one, to add a client, all you need is the first name, last name. However, if you're going to be emailing them, you should probably enter in their email address. Now, as I tab through, because I'm a type and tab, I'm a desk jockey by nature. So as I tab my way through, the little green arrow is there to say, yes, this looks like a valid email address for you. You'll want to let it know who's getting that primary email, and that's going to be Betty. So as I scroll down, I'll also use the spouse, Bobby Buyer. Now you'll notice I put first name and last name in here just because the way it looks on the report for them, it looks more aesthetically pleasing. All right, and then I'm going to add in Bobby's email address. Typing and talking at the same time is a little difficult. Now, as I tab through, remember that there's that green check mark said, oh, looks good. Now, here's your next question. Do you want to add that spouse or the secondary email to your notifications? Yes, I do. All right, so if they are current homeowners, maybe when they move to their new home, you can add in their home address. And Paragon does allow you to create mailing labels. So if you wanted to do some mailers, there's a nice, easy way to do so here. All right, going back up to the top, I'm actually going to add in their telephone number in here. So I will put in mine. There we go. Now, just because if I get around to showing you how to text a listing to a client, because you can do that right out of Paragon, you can do that here. Now, I can also add what type of contact they are. It's a buyer. And then the groups are something that you set up yourself. So your groups are going to be empty. That's only if you want to do some prospecting out of here, some bulk mailings, pick a few people an email too. I don't think it looks the prettiest, but you can do it, or at least the email setup. There is also reverse prospecting in here. So I know we're going a little deep into the contacts, but reverse prospecting is not really needed in this type of a market. Reverse prospecting is for a listing agent. So if I'm the listing agent, I'm trying to find buyers for my listing, this is what I would do. I would go in and run reverse prospecting elsewhere. So when the market needs it, we'll start touching on that a little bit more. And that's the majority of everything that you have here in your contacts. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. All right. So it brings you right back up to the top, that little contact activity, a little synopsis of what's going on. And as I click my green next button on the right-hand side, back to this page. All righty, and add a search. So I have two options right here. I can add a new saved search, or I can add or load an existing saved search. So if I had already created a search for my client, but just didn't marry it up to my client, I would simply go here, load an existing, and it brings me to a list of all the ones that I've created. When I simply select it and say save, and then it will go on into my settings. All right, so but we're not going to use this one. So we are going to remove this search, and see, and I can also edit a search as well, right here at the top of the blue. So I'm going to remove this search from the client. And yes, thank you. So it's going to go back to adding that search spot. So I want to go in and create a new search for my client. Okay, so we're going to select our class. Remember, if there's anything that you've missed, like I blink, or if I start thinking about what you did on that last step, and I'm like, oh crap, where'd she go? Let me know. I will be more than happy to show that. It's just my questions are just off to my right here, so I can see that. All right, type is going to be residential, so I type and tab my way through. I know what's in here. If you're not sure what goes into this slot just yet, just tap the magnifying glass on the right, and you'll see that in residential, you have condos, farms, and single families. Oop. And in your status, I can simply type in A and hit tab, because that'll get that first one. Now, if you're wondering what all active includes, now this is very important, because your clients may want something slightly different. Yeah, of course, it's got active. It'll have those back on market listings. But here are your other items. So keep showing a contingency applies. So what is the contingency? It means that the future buyer has to sell their own home. That's what this is contingent. So it's actually in a keep showing, because they want it to be kept showing. Otherwise, if they don't want it to be kept showing that a contingency applies, just put it into pending. Now, ABO is there accepting backup offers. All right, and Karina, you've got a question. I'll get to you in just a second. So accepting backup offers, this means they have an accepted offer. So it could actually, technically is a pending property. However, they think it might fall through, never know. So that's why. And then of course, our coming soon listings means that it is an active listing in the MLS. However, they are not showing the property as of yet. The homeowner is not ready to show it. They have up to 7 days in our MLS. So other MLSs and their associations are going to be slightly different. I have to remember that I have more than just our members here, because you have to be thoughtful of your own MLS's rules. Because across the country, even though those coming soon came down from NAR, it was up to the individual associations and MLSs on how to interpret that. And how we interpreted it in our area, in this little area, is coming soon. So they have up to 7 days to have it in that coming soon listings, which are to be no showings by anybody, by the homeowner, by the listing agent. Sure, you can drive by the property. Sure, you can write an offer on the property. They're just not showing it. Just got to keep that in mind. All right, so we had a question, Karina. Once you add a contact and save, how do you get to the add a search page? So actually, there we go. I can go back into my context. See, you'll love this, how you can go right through all the little tabs in here. I'm gonna go right back into Betty Buyer. So on the left-hand side, if you've saved it and you're not doing the green next button, so if you use the green next, it'll walk you right through this little page here. Otherwise, because it's just going down the line, so you can open the buyer activity here and you will see add search. And the same as when we'll get to this, the seller activity, I can associate a property, but I don't have listings to associate the property to. Okay, so you see I'm still in my contacts tab. Then I entered Betty Buyer. Now I'm working on that search. So I'm going to go into back to my criteria page. All right. So we've got all active. So now you know what that entails, all those actives. So you've got to be considerate of what your client wants. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to go ahead and search by a map. So I click into the map. And there's some really cool things you can do with the map. You'll see that mine does look different than yours. I keep mine on that hybrid view. See, hybrid is here. Now, I did set that up in my preferences wizard. I'm a huge fan of whenever I needed to change anything in the system here, I just use that preferences wizard. So I go to my preferences icon and then the preferences wizard here, and I just walk my way through it. Unless you're good at it, you can do it right to your need and move on. That's always awesome. Because here, normally your little red X is going to come up where your office is. I changed this to the home office because the office wasn't necessarily my territory that I was always looking in. You'll see here's the St. Clair River. There's Canada. I'm in the lovely town of St. Clair. No, not St. Clair Shores, just St. Clair. All right, so your client just got a new job. Let's see, where shall we say? We'll go near the office, Shelby Township, Michigan. And I'm going to hit enter. So what you see, I usually tell you what I'm doing. There's an address bar right here. So I can type in the exact address of her office, or I know the city where she just got her new job, where she wants to be close to. So I type in Shelby Township, Michigan, and I hit enter. And it's going to move my little flag. I now have a flag at where the property or the center of Shelby Township is. So my client, we're going to say that this is her new office. And we're going to say she wants to be within 5 miles of that new office. So how do you do that? So here's miles and the search radius right here. So I'm going to enter in 5 for the miles and then search the radius, not the search button because we don't have the rest of our criteria there. So we're going to search radius. All right. So I need to zoom out, make sure I see everybody here. All right. That'll get you 10 miles across. So it's 5 miles from the center. So from here to the outside is 5. 10 miles all the way across. So you'll see we have a lot of listings. But you also know something about your client. She's like, I don't really want to go south of, this is M59, which is Hall Road. That's a busy street. Maybe I don't want to be on the other side of that. Geez, I don't know how to do that. That's what your mapping functions are all about. You got a lot of good mapping functions in here. And you know what? When you need to use this and you remember, like, dang, Debbie said we could do this, but I don't remember how. You can call me or text support and say, hey, could you walk me through this? And we could do this on a one-on-one basis. We can actually zoom in or zoom. We do a Zoom and you can share your computer or I can share mine and show you exactly how to do this. And it's a nice short little, I love it. I love doing this. All right, so we're going to draw a map across Hall Road and say we don't want anything in this area. So we're going to draw a map around this area and then we're going to tell it to exclude those. So we're going to go into the draw tools in the upper left. You see all your nice cool mapping tools here. Go into the draw. And my favorite is the polygon, is it allows me to get across those streets that are maybe not exactly level. Maybe they go a little like that. So I'm going to tap the polygon. And now you see my cursor is now a crosshair. So I'm going to move it over towards Hall Road or M59. I'm going to start here is good. Go all the way across. Tap again. So whenever I want this to make a turn, I click my mouse. This is not a click and drag. So I'm going to come down here, click again, and go back up to where I first started. You'll see that the cursor changes. And now I have a new map shape on my map, but it naturally adds things to it. So we have to tell it that that's not what we want. So I'm going to go into the edit in that upper left on this light bar. So I'm going to edit. And that bottom one is the newest one that you just added. Now don't click the red X. That's going to delete it. You'll do that once or twice and then you'll remember it. That's how I did it. So it's the polygon, and you'll see the word include is here, and there's a checkbox here. So I'm going to uncheck it, and now it is excluded. So you'll see that these are red now. So when your client says, yep, I want to be within 5 miles, 5 miles of the office is good. Oh, but wait, not there, not there, not there. Okay. All right, so we're going to do you can add like, I think up to 7 different map shapes. It's pretty sweet. All right, so now that I have my map shape here and my exclusion, let's go back to the criteria and finish out our search. So we're going to tap the criteria on that top blue bar. So now you'll see that my 2 different shapes are in here. Now, do I need to mention if these are for sale or for rent? Well, if I'm starting at 200,000, no, then I don't. I should go 2 to 400. And I think that those last 3 digits are already entered for me. I greatly appreciate that. Okay, maybe she wanted to stay within a particular county. Maybe she didn't want to go into Rochester. So here's a great little tool. See all these little things on the right-hand side? Equals. You can also do not equal to. So if I want, that just gave me, that reduced some 20. Oh, no, it didn't. It just changed. If I want to, wrong one, not equal to, so Rochester. I love Rochester, but she says, you know, it's just too pricey for me. So I'm going to put in Rochester Hills. Okay, so nothing got over there. In Rochester, 20. So one of those properties did eke over into the next city over. So not too shabby. There's 1 listing she doesn't have to sort through. So as we continue down here, there's some really cool things that you've got here. Your structure style. She wanted 1 story, 2 story, 1.5 story. How about your bedrooms? And the way we use this in my real source is your minimum and maximum. You don't have to have a maximum. So if she wants at least 3 bedrooms, you don't have to enter a maximum unless there's no, she will only clean 5 bedrooms and that's just more than enough. But the one that we use here in my real source is bathrooms total. So these are the number of handles to the bathrooms in the home. So if it's a half bath, a full bath, and I come from Florida where we do 3/4 baths, those would be counted as bathrooms. So it's just using the total number. So if she needs at least a 1.5 bedroom or 1.5 bath, you can put 2 in here, and that will get you 1.5 baths or 2 baths, either way. Now, if your client is more particular, say, Debbie, I have to have 2 full bathrooms minimum in the house. How do I do that? Well, we have more search criteria down on the bottom. So let's scroll all the way down. And then the secondary criteria, see all the way at the bottom. There's a down arrow here, so let's click that. And then we'll scroll down. So we have all sorts of more search criteria here. Here are the bathrooms full and half. So if your client had to have 2 full baths, those are halves, fulls, 2. 10, so that did knock out 1. So there you go. And one of the things I do want to mention is Mail City. Like for us in our area in St. Clair County, we've got a lot of islands just south of me. There's Harson's Island, and I don't even know all the name of the islands over there. But it's a lot of, they are included in one particular municipality, which is Clay Township. Now, Clay Township has both on the, they say the land side, the dry side, as well as the islands side. So if I were looking for something in Harson's Island, I could actually use Mail City. Now remember, Mail City isn't always a great way to search because there's some crazy stuff going on with the USPS. It's just is what it is. Because remember, the Mail City is really where the post office is located. That's all it is. It just happens to be, here's the building that you mail your stuff to, or that your letters go to, and they disseminate it from there. But there are a few areas that this works really well for. You can search by zip code. Don't forget, if these are a site condo, they're down in here, and even some more information too. Okay, so let's go back up to the top. Basement, waterfront, fireplace. Now these are just standard yes, no's. You can get more in-depth detail in the feature codes. So here's your features right here. So like, well, let's look at basement. How much or how many different criteria are in basement? So as a listing agent, you would want to get very detailed in entering, what type of basement it is. It's not just a yes, no. Is it a partial? Is it a Michigan basement? Is there a basement garage? There's all sorts of interesting things here. So as I tap the magnifying glass to the right, you will see I have all of these different categories. So there's your basement type. And you as the buyer's agent, you have 3 options. Now, if you must have a basement, you can just put yes or no. Yes is fine if they had no other criteria, but yep, got to have a basement. Now, how about your 3 options here? Must not have. I love this one. They must have. Or here's my favorite. Must have 1 or more. So as long as I get one of these criteria, I'll be fine. So I can use, let's see, where's my Michigan basement and my basement? Must not have a Michigan basement. Please don't show me one of those. Not going to work with that. Or, as long as I get one of these, it's a block or an egress or a port or a full, I can add multiples over here. So as long as it hits one of these particulars, it has to hit just one of those, and it will come up on my list. Locker storage. And save this. So I want to show you what it's going to do. Because remember, in this tight market, we've just reduced everything. So, but what I want to show you, one of the cool features about Paragon is over here on the right-hand side. This is your summary criteria. So if I needed, after I've searched everything and I realized, man, I got to fix something in here, and I didn't know where that was. So these are my features, my must-have. I got to do something with this. I need to edit this. So here's my little blue button to edit. And it'll move my cursor. It'll highlight it in yellow and move my cursor right there. See? Yellow. So I can go in and edit, or if I want, I can simply remove all of these features right here. Then you'll see back up to 9. Okay. So I'm going to stick with the 9 for the minute. I don't want to search myself out of a home. Remember, you still have more options. Your square footage, your built acreage. These are actually, I believe I edited mine. Acreage and year built are not your normals. You can customize this. If acreage is something you're always adding in, or if Mail City is something you're always using, or your site condo, you can edit this. So it's actually customized. You can customize the fields. That's these. This is a field, and then the other one is customizing the container. So it's that primary and the secondary criteria. So those are your containers. So there's the 2 containers. You can take it out of the bottom container and put it in the top. And again, if you need help with that, say, Debbie, I need this fixed the way I need this fixed. Here's the way I search. Give me a buzz. We can set it up. All right, so what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and search on this one right here. 9's enough. I'm good to go. Now, because we are still in our contacts module, remember, here's your hierarchy. We're in the contacts module, and we're in our searching. So as I told it to search, it's going to give me my options right here. Now, first is save the search. Secondary is add it to a cart. Now, a cart is a cool tool. However, it's not your basic tool for this. It's a specialized thing. So just think about a cart. When you're shopping online, you add something to your shopping cart. Nothing else is going to get added in there. It's only what you put in there, and that's that. So when you save the search, that's when the system is going to run automatically, add new stuff to for your client, and any other changes that come about as well will go to those changes. So let's go ahead and save this search. And I like using it through the contacts module because it does give me the name of save search for Betty Buyer. So all of my client searches are going to be under S because they're alphabetically sorted. So they will be all there. And save. And a plus, it saves me from typing out their names. Anything to save a few keystrokes. That's it. All right. So now the system automatically moves me to the next screen where I need to be. And here is where you're going to set up your notifications. So the notifications automatically defaults to the Collab Center. Remember the Collab Center, or if you don't know, so the Collab Center is designed so your clients can mark things as favorites, possibles, rejects. They can keep all of their listings in one place. That's the great thing about it. So now we want to set their settings. Now, if you want this to go to your client immediately and to yourself immediately, send the welcome message, you're good to go. But I want to show you what's in here. So let's go into the settings. So there is a custom message you can put in there, but there's really no need to. Notifications are typically 1 year, but I changed mine in my preferences wizard. I know it's shocking. What's going to trigger a new email to your client? Price changes, new matches, comments by me or my client back to me. Now, I've also added in status changes because the market is moving so fast. I want them to know, oh, that's pending, that's pending, and yeah, that's now pending too. So I want those to go to my client. And when the market changes, I'll probably change this up a little bit. And if I wanted to change my one client, I certainly can. I can remove this right here. So you can see your options here on the magnifying glass. And you'll see what's going. And I would never send tours. Those are broker tours typically. Open houses, I wouldn't send those to my client unless I wanted to accompany them with the open house. I'm not going to purposefully give away my client. Unless they're a PIA, then sure, go for it. Send them to all those open houses. But really, who's going to do that? There's that status change. And then the initial photo, most everybody now enters their photos and everything right from the get-go. And I wouldn't set up notifications on that. All right, no changes were made, so I don't need to save it. Here are two really cool pieces. This is the notifications. What does your client want? Well, my client's an active buyer. She wants things now. Now, we also have agent notifications, which are different than the client. Now, I don't want immediate notifications. I'm not that kind of person. I don't need to know. I don't need my inbox blowing up all day long with listings for my clients. I like to set mine on recurring. So when does the recurring email come in? You tell me. You set the time frame for when that comes in. So I can have it daily, weekly, or monthly. Pretty awesome, but monthly report, that's not a lot there. So I have it go every day, and I could even have the options of don't email me on the weekends because, well, either I'm going to be at the pool or somewhere, maybe, hopefully. Hello, Joe. Or golfing, something, enjoying my time. So I'm in my default. I have told it to say, I usually want mine at 7 a.m. And then I tap OK. There we go. So this goes to Betty and Bobby. Remember, we had put both of them into the email. So that button was selected there. There's no need to BCC myself or CC myself. I get my own notification. And here's the subject line that goes to your client. Activity notification for your Collaboration Center site. Yeah, I could shorten it up a little bit. We usually say Collab site, Collab Center site, and that was Shelby Township. Just in case they've got plenty of other notices going, I want them to know, hey, that's Shelby Township. And then tap OK in the upper right. So that's if you want to, change up anything. I do like changing up the title of the email just so they know this is specific to you. And now all I need to do is send that welcome email. And first thing you're going to notice, oh, look, it's empty. What's wrong with this? It's okay. It's different for everybody. So instead of generating it automatically, they just don't generate it. So let's go ahead and preview it to see what it looks like. And still no questions? We're good? All right. How are we doing on time? Okay. So you'll see my cell phone, my email address, my grainy photo. I ditched my high-res photo somewhere. It's lost. It's MIA. All right. So this is why I have Bobby Byers' name in here. Otherwise, it reads Betty Byer and Bobby. So let's just go Betty Byer, Bobby Byers. That's why I put Bobby's full name into that one line. So they would view their site from here. There were 9 matches found. Where do those listings come from? So they're all going to be undecided until they click on whatever they want. And I can also send out agent picks as well. So I can find a listing. Maybe it was in Rochester Hills. Maybe it was a great find in Rochester Hills. They were just trying to avoid the high price. Maybe I found a great one for them and I want to put it in with the rest of their notifications. So it goes into their Collab Center. And then if anything ever changes on that listing, like a new price, they will get notified too. So that's why I use those agent picks. They can favorite, possible, or reject listings too. Of course, they can communicate through here, but yeah, I only get those emails once a day, so that wouldn't be very good communication. They can make their own folders in here. They can compare listings too. And at any time, you can always resend out this letter so they have it. So they will need to create their own password, and their username is going to be their email. And both Betty and Bobby will use the same username and password. And of course, it is branded to me. And I will show you how to enter this into your Collab Center. This is through the Collab Center Preferences Wizard. I can add my Facebook business page. This is my Instagram. They still haven't fixed it in the preview, but in the regular one that goes to your client, it is fixed. LinkedIn and then Twitter. And of course, this would be your brokerage logo. However, I work for my real source. That's why it's my real source. And close this, and all we need to do is send. So, and of course, I've walked you through every single step that you could possibly use on this, but you really don't need to. So it's been what, 35 minutes. I went through everything possible in here and made sure to go through all the notifications. It will not take you that long to get this done. Right. Okay, so we saw the big green email sent. Just always make sure that you get that. So let's close this. Okay, so now let's go find a listing for your buyer. That would be the agent pick. It's also called the agent recommended. All right, so I'm going to go to my home icon. I'm going to go really easy route and get something out of my market monitor. Do you guys know, this is a great piece right here. I love when agents try to find their listings. They would go up into the power search and type in their address, and they're like, what is that address? But here's the easy way to do it. Go right to my info. These are going to be your listings. And you'll see, I work for the MLS. I'm not a listing agent or buyer's agent. Well, I hold a real estate license, disclaimer, but I don't use it. So I simply go here, any new expiring alerts, very nice. You can also reach your office listings right here, and the difference between office and firm. So office are the listings out of the office you're licensed with. And then the firm is going to be if your office has any other offices that are also My Real Source members. It's like Coldwell Banker, I know, has at least 3 offices that are members of My Real Source. So that's how you find all your office listings. So I'm going to go into my market. And of course, my market is here in St. Clair. And actually, I do my entire school district. So for me, that's a good chunk of land, and I love it. So I'm going to go down to the bottom one and find the most expensive listing for my buyer. And I'm going to click the MLS number to get into the listing. I'm going to say this one, oh, I think my client will love this one. How do I get this into my client's Collab Center? And this is in your handouts. So I'm going to save this listing. It's always based on save. I'm going to go in and save. I'm going to save it to a listing cart. And it's going to be my client's listing cart. It's for my contact. I'm going to go Betty. And there she is. So I just select my buyer, save, and I want to go to the notifications center as well, because I want to make sure that I've got those notifications. It's already open. I want to make sure that I've got those notifications turned on too. So let's go back to my contact. So I'm in my contacts, and I'm still in Betty Buyer here. So under my buyer activity, I have the save search, and I also have those agent recommended. So that's that agent pick. Alrighty, and we want to make sure that they are on, yep, they're on the Collab Center and my settings. So they should go to they will go to my client as well. And the same, well, this one's going to be immediate. So, I'll let this one go immediately to me. I think that's okay. All right. And there we have the one listing here. So you'll see, and actually, as I close out Betty Buyer, I might need to refresh. Where's my Betty? She's got 9. Let's just reduce that a little bit. So you'll also have this little plus here. You can see the different searches that are under here without going into her account. You can get a nice bird's eye view here. So there's the saved search for Betty. There's the 9 plus the 1 agent recommended. So those are all going in to be in my client's Collab Center. Now, as I look over to the right, you'll see that, let me close that up. Nice simple view. So I'm going to scooch over to the right. This is why we love the Collab Center. We will be able to see what she likes as favorites, possibles, and rejects. I will know when she was last notified and when she last accessed the system. And I entered her today. So as if I go, so I remove Betty. Now you'll see I do have listings over here. And the one thing is these are only going to be active listings. So any listings that had previously were a favorite or a favorite, a possible, or a reject, if they are now off the market in any kind of way, they will not show up here. So if I click into this, and this is a really cool piece here, I'm going to click into these 4 favorites for my client. And now I can schedule up all of these. It's going to be a crazy one. This is my lottery search. I'm going to select all of these, or maybe I only wanted, let's not go Adrian. So now I can select all of these. And under my actions icon here, so I'll select actions, because what action do I want to do with these listings? I'm going to bring them all over to showing time. And it will be a cart. So you'll see here, my only option is to add it to a cart. Pick a date. We'll say we're going out Thursday. Who's my buyer? Always add in your buyer and okay. So then you'll go in, pick a time. You also have the smart route ability here. So let's scroll down and see what they have here. Oh, okay. What I get this up in Iron Mountain, Birchville, Grosse Pointe. Oh, Waters Meet. So apparently I didn't recognize where Waters Meet, Michigan is. And now you see, like, we've got the Upper Peninsula's information in here. So, I wonder what my driving time, just 9 hours and 31 minutes up to there. That's it. Ah, easy peasy. So you'll also see you've got driving time and miles in here as well. I think let's remove this one. And yes, okay. There we go. Still a big enough trip today. There you go. You can turn by turn directions. It's a great program. I love doing that. All right, going back to Paragon. Okay, so now you've seen how to add listings into the client's agent recommended listings. So let's go in and see what Betty Byers' collaboration site looks like. And you access those by the blue view. You'll see site. So access them right here by clicking into that. So, and if your client has too many ones that they say, maybe they've got 60 listings in here and they just haven't been able to get to them or look at it because there's just so much, you can go in here on your agent's behalf as well. So there's my agent recommended. And it doesn't show up here as agent recommended. What it does is put it under here on my, it's called my listings. And here is my agent picks right there. So at any time they can go through here and like, oh yeah, I can mark it as a favorite. I can mark it as a possible. Oh, see, coming soon. And they are labeled as such for your clients. Maybe I could reject this one. I can create a file for these. There you go. And at any time they can go over here. What are their favorites? Oh yeah, it was that one. They go into view the detail. They also have some other stuff that they can do. Your clients can do a lot. So if you didn't see where I just clicked the little arrow from here, what else can I do? What other additional options? They can email me or email it out. They can make a comment to me. They can see the associated docs if this is a public listing and if they're able to catch it. They can request a They can request a showing? Yes. It goes to you, the buyer's agent, not to showing time. They can also share this on Facebook. Yes, because that's how people love to do. Hey, if I move to this house, will my friends still come visit me? So yes, but the information is going to be branded to you, their listing agent, and don't forget the listing attribution to the listing brokerage will still be there. All right. So they've got a lot they can do here. They can see it as the thumbnail views. Of course, on that one, it doesn't work. There we go. We'll pick ones with more than ones. There's your thumbnail. There's your tile view. You can even see all the listings on a map. Pretty nice. So there's a lot that they can do. Now they also have recent sales, communications, and saved folders. Now, if my buyer was also selling their property, they would have their listing tab right here. And they can run their own property searches too. So they have a lot that they can do in here. Oh, and then under the Contact Me page, so that's where my Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram accounts are at. Now, if you don't have anything but Twitter, only your Twitter button's going to show. If you like, you can add in your story video. And for those of you who have seen me more than once, my story is working for the MLS. So the new agent onboarding, the video that I put out, is just a few minutes long. It helps them how to get logged in to Paragon. So I just wanted to see what it looks like and show a nice example. There are also links that you can add in for your clients. So these could be your favorite pool guy, your cleaning ladies, your repair guys, your closing agencies, all those different things that how do you want to help your clients? What information are you getting to them? What's your favorite brokerage gal that you're always working with, or the one that your broker wants you to share with your clients? You can put that right here too. So I've got a lot of different stuff. I love, my area here. So here's my Blue Water area hotspots. That'll get me right to that link. Warwater Brewery. It's right here in St. Clair. Love it. So there's all sorts of things you can do for your clients. And of course, there's the visit my site. If you have a website, then this is where it will go. That has to be inputted by the membership department though. So just so you know where it comes from, you don't have access to it. It's kind of deep in the system. Just let us know to put it in there. And if you didn't know, guess what? HomeSnap gives you your own website. So let's click visit my site. It is the public profile of my HomeSnap page. So it gets them right into there. So this is how you get extra clients. You get them to search on your site. It's kind of nice. All right, let's close that out. It's another reason why I love HomeSnap. Okay, let's close out. You don't need that one. That one. There we go. Okay, so that's creating your client, adding a search in, and then agent recommended, or agent picks, either way, and then looking at your client's site. Now, I do have one poll to throw out. Got a couple of questions for you guys. All right. Have you started using the Collab Center? Okay, well, we're at 70% voting. All right, that'll be good. Close enough. Don't want to sit here and hold out too long. So yes, the majority of people are using the Collab Center, which is good. Okay, which leads me into the next question. Have you customized your Collab Center? Because if this is an overwhelming no, then we'll spend a few minutes on it just to give you a few ideas of what you can do with that. Okay, and so far we're at a big fat no. Okay, so because this is an overwhelming no, we're going to pop through those Collab Center preferences and show you what you can do. So where do you find your preferences? You got it, the preferences icon right at the top. So let's click into this. Now, there's the regular preferences wizard, but there's also the Collab Center wizard. Now, you can also go on the left-hand side, straight over to Collab Center, but I just want to go through the wizard. It's nice and easy. All right, start. My given name is Deborah. I go by Debbie, so I can change my name right here. Now, this is only your agent information. What's your primary phone number to display? And then if this is the same, don't display it. But I've got a direct line at the office, that's why I use that. All right, yes, I want to display my email address, my web page, my story video. And here is where you put in your social media networks. Love it. Okay, LinkedIn, Twitter, oh yes, and Facebook. So how do you get your links here? I'll give you a short little how to do it. So if I wanted to get to my Facebook business page, I'm going to open up a new web page. And I'm going to go to Facebook. And this is nice, easy peasy way to do this. I'm going to go over to my business page, Big Red Homes. That's me, Big Red. So all I do is go up into the URL. I click into this. Now I right click, copy and go back to Paragon and simply right click here and paste. And there you have it. And the same thing, you go to Twitter, go to your homepage, LinkedIn. See, the only thing is that looks very suspicious. My Instagram account does not have my name behind it. I don't use it enough, so that could be why. And then the My Story video, the link has to be hosted somewhere. You can't just take it off your phone and paste it in here. So you have to host it on some kind of a site, which we use YouTube. There's Vimeo, all sorts of different hosting platforms out there. And then of course your agent image, usually it comes from your main preferences wizard. Going to your next, so those are the big ones. The next one, someday, come on, is the, sorry, got a little click happy. Okay, back to number 2, that was it, sorry. The About Me message. This is a default, you should have something in here. The only thing is, hey, make sure you get your name at the bottom. Meh. And if you put your brokerage information in here, this is one of those places people love to forget. If you do change brokerages, you've got to remember that that name is your previous brokerage is now hidden everywhere. So it's little things like this. And then you email us at the MLS saying, hey, I changed brokerages 6 months ago and you're still sending out information in my old brokerage. Well, yes, because that information comes from you. So right there. Next, just remember your branding can come from elsewhere. All right, here's the page that had all of those little web links. Now, granted, you might want to let your clients know that they are there because that's only if they actually click into some place and look for deep stuff. You got to remind your clients or let your clients know that you've got all sorts of great contact information. When they go into their Collab Center, just go to the About Me page and you'll see all this stuff here. Now, you'll notice first and foremost, the link has its own name. So when you go put in a link, add, and I'll just paste the last one that I had there. If I tab through, it's going to give me, the name is going to be the exact same as the link. So I'm going to uncheck the box that says the link name is the same. And I want to go in and say Big Red Homes Facebook page and save. And there it is right there. And those are alphabetical, oh, except for Semco. I thought they were alphabetical over here. Okay. So Big Red Homes Facebook page, Big Red Homes Facebook page. See, I do this just a little bit. Okay. And next. So those are some of your big ones right there. And then your office information. This page is solely about your office. The main number and a secondary number, if there is one. If there isn't a different one, don't display it. You can display your office address and your logo. Don't forget, licensing law has particular laws on this, so don't go showing nothing. You might find yourself in trouble. Now here's the big page, the notifications. This first section is you, the agent, your notifications. I want to be notified of a new listing. And I don't care about the price changes, status, photos, open houses. I don't care. I don't want those. I want to know when there's a new listing for my client, and I only get them on a once daily basis. I do want to be notified if my client is favoriting any listings. I want to know if they're marketing as possible, because a lot of times they don't go to the level of favorites. And then notify if they have comments added. Okay. And then you have your clients searches. So remember, this is where I added in status change, because this is the way it comes out of the box, is like this. But I added status change in on mine just because of the nature of the market right now. So that's where you do those on the, as a basic for everybody. Remember, I can change client by client. If this one doesn't want to see status changes, just take it out of their search. Okay, Now, when your clients are searching for properties, what classes of real estate are you allowing them to look on? I don't work in manufactured homes or the mobile home parks, so I'm not even going to allow that. I'll let them search on vacant land, but I'm not going to have commercial and industrial come up on their searches. I don't work in industrial and commercial. That's just my particular preferences. I think it keeps just a cleaner look. Now, as we scroll down, now what statuses are you going to allow them to search on? Now, some say, let them search on everything, get all the solds, the this, the that. No, I don't need them searching on all that. I want them to see all of the actives. I don't want them searching on solds because they can see that elsewhere in their site. They can see the market activity around their homes, so that's fine. And pendings, yep, I don't want those hidden because they're looking for a property and it's now pending. So I want them to be able to find it on my site if necessary. And your last page, see, this is just 8 pages long. It's no giant big deal. Is the automated valuations. They can see those in there, and I wouldn't personally take them out because they're gonna find them elsewhere. There's the Zestimate, you're familiar with that. The Realtor's valuation model is from RPR, the Realtor's Property Resource. An Easy Value is a product out of Paragon and Black Knight, their parent company. So not all of them will display on all properties. And there you have it. Okay, so now there's your short little tutorial on how to change up your Collab Center site by getting in those links and maybe a little video for yourself. Get a selfie stick, take a 5-minute, don't do a 5-minute video. Do a 1.5-minute video. You can do it a dozen times because you remember you're your worst critic. And you know, the first video I've done, it's like, wow, that is just horrible. And if it's just a 1-minute video, you can do it over and over again. It's no big deal. All right, so now we want to see what it looks like to have your sellers on the Collab Center. Oh, good. Yep, we're doing right on time here. Got about 10 minutes worth of this, and we'll be good to go. All right, so no questions. We're doing good. And if there's anything you want to look at again, don't forget to ask. And those handouts for the class are in the little orange arrow. If you want to open that up, there's the handouts. There are 3. If after today's webinar you want to find those, they are in the very top of Paragon under the MLS documents. So I'll click that open. All of the MLSs have access to these 2 folders here. So you can either go to our education folder. You have each association has their own folder here, and then I'll go down to my real sources. And some of you also have your own brokerages folder there as well, which is really nice. So we have 89 different files in the MIRS education. So if I just click into here, and my favorite is always just doing a search. I'm just going to type in Collab, keep it nice and simple. There's the About Me page, changing your client search, buyer handout, and then the whole shebang here. All right, so I'm going to go over to Miss Audra's account. I have access to her, assume identity. Jansic. Okay. So I am now working on behalf of Miss Audra. So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to go into the contacts and view manage because I want to see what's already there. I'm already set up in her account as the homeowner. So I'm going to search for Debbie. So you got your find here. You've got activities, status, types, groups. So you can do a lot of sorting right through here as well. So here is Debbie Fajardo. I can go right over to view the site. So, but what I want to open up that contact record. Where is the action button? The action button. Well, so a few minutes ago, we had talked about the actions, and I think I can get to back there in just a second. So that's when you've searched for a property. let's see, after you've searched for a property, it's on the blue bar. There you go. All right, Dave, I think that should answer yours. And Laura, for the keep showing, a contingency applies. You said that means that the seller has to find, nope. Oh, if that's, yeah. Okay, so Laura had a good question. She said for the status called KSCA, keep showing a contingency applies. She said that it means that the seller has to find their new home. No, the seller doesn't have to find the new home. It's waiting. It doesn't mean that there is an accepted offer. Yes, there is an accepted offer on the home, just that accepted offer is waiting to sell their home. So the buyer is needing to sell their home. It's technically pending because there is an offer accepted, but they're wanting to keep it out there as keep showing. So if I misspoke, I apologize. All right, so here we are back in the seller's account, which is me. So I'm in Debbie's. So, you know, there's buyer activity and there's also seller activity. So here is the search activity, what we have going on for the clients. And in the seller, so you'll see I'm here on Ryan Road. This is the listing that, air quotes, is mine. I'm sorry, I think I got a little backlighting here. I apologize for that. Hate seeing the dark face. All right, so we're going to click into the Ryan Road. And this is, quote, my house. Because remember, not my house, but this is just for class purposes. She always keeps me on her listings. So here's the listing. And as I scroll down, you'll see that I am on the sell side site and I am on an email report. So let's show you how that works. I'm going to remove myself from this. All right, so here's what it's going to look like as you set this up. So under your seller activity, it's going to ask, do you want to associate a property? Yes, I do. So let's go in and select a listing. So I can either be on the Ryan Road or looks like vacant land. I'll take Ryan Road again and save. Now, always when you first come up, these are going to be disabled because they want you to make sure that this is what you want. So the sell side site, that's going to be on the Collab Center, allowing me to see that on my Collab Center. So it's disabled. So I'm going to click that. And do I want to send an update email? Yep. So let's click that. And it's going to go off for immediate delivery. Thank you very much. All right. And then I also want to enable an email report to go out, which would be me. It's disabled, so click this and enabled. And as I got to scroll down, when do you want it? Off, daily, weekly? This is for the client scheduling and the agent scheduling. I'm going to turn it off for Audra. Okay. All right. So now let's go in and see what the site looks like. See you, Joe, for the Collab Center for the sellers. Now this is, Audra is my agent and I'm the seller. So that's why I see I'm over here on this side with the hubby. Ah, and there it is, seller activity. There we go. So you'll see, so this is me accessing my Collab Center site for my listing. There's been 130 listing views. No broker tours, we don't do that. Here's the listing views in the last 14, 30, and 90 days. I can do in their real estate agent views, you get that. Even information from showing time, very, very nice. And any buyer activity, yep. One person has marked it as a possible, two's rejected it, and one have it undecided. Now, the more people that are on Paragon, on our source of Paragon and using this, the better this becomes. Wow, look at that. There's been 100 real estate agent views, 30 prospective buyers. Pretty cool. So this is stuff that you're allowing your homeowner to see. And yep, we got agent recommended in here too. Wow. more and more and more activity here. It's pretty nice. Let's go back up to the top. So even as a buyer, what's going on in the buyer activity? So if I'm buying and selling, I've got it all in one site. Pretty nice. It's absolutely amazing. I love doing that. Oh, and there's my favorite. It's right around the corner from me. Okay. So what questions do we have? Do you have, number one, do you have your sellers on the Collab Center site? So, and that's a great piece. Do I even have that in a poll? Oh, yes. Have you added? I'm going to launch one last poll for you guys, and then we will call it good. Have you added a client? Well, it could be a seller or a buyer to your Collab Center site. You'll see it's a mixed here. Don't forget, you know what's a great thing to do is adding yourself to the Collab Center and then hide those results. Now, normally, if you guys ever get this is an expiring notification. If you just click extend, it will extend it. But mine, there's a problem. Lisa actually made this one herself, and there's a problem with it. So I would show you how to do that otherwise. So let's go back up into the contacts module. Oh, and also down here, I'm going to show you one thing. On the right-hand side, there is activity. This is your contact activity. So first tab is activity. There's been a site visit and a favorite. So they got a green favorite here. No comments, no new searches, and no sellers. So, but that's just a nice little synopsis of where it is. I'm going to go to my contacts, view and manage. Now, I do keep mine sorted, so I have all my active people at the top, because you'll see this is not alphabetical. I'm going to go over to the right-hand side, and you see I can sort this by last access. You'll see that the up and down. So if I click it once, it's going to be nothing. I do it again, and then they will all, so the last access ones will be up at the top. Okay, and here's where you can see. And I think, so Dave, you wanted to see where the action button was. So let's go into some listings. So this is my search. So if I wanted to do anything with these for my clients, your actions are right here. And when I have 3 selected, I can send them to CMA, Cloud CMA. I can make a buyer tour. I can run a CMA. Or I can even bring them over to showing time. Now, on an individual basis, if I go to a listing, there is still going to be an actions button here. And this has even more options because the other one had multiple listings. All right, good job, Dave. Is there a checklist? Yes, so I guess, Dave, the checklist would be the handout going through the steps. Nothing small and short, like just a short little checklist. If you want to download the cheat sheet on that and just make sure that you've got them done, that would be. So, but yeah, the actions button, look at all this stuff. Schedule showing, start a transaction, single property website. So, and these are all those quick action icons that are right on a listing. Here's all those little things. So these quick action icons are the same as here. There's also the more button. If this is my listing, I could maintain it right here. I can get driving directions to this listing. It's more, it's just really nice. How about texting a listing? That was what I said that we should be able to do. So I can share my listing. There's a couple different ways you can share it. I can share it right to Facebook. Now, if you take this listing and share it to Facebook, remember, it is not your listing. So I would make sure to have permission from the listing agent, because if I'm trying to share this on Facebook and make it look like it's my listing, that's against a lot of rules. I can also share it to Twitter, same thing. But the texting and the collab link, Now, if I wanted to share it to Facebook, maybe for my client using Messenger or something like that, I don't know if that works, that would be fine. But if I'm sharing it to one individual, my client, you can share all you want. So I'm going to share this via text message, and I'll show you guys what this looks like. There's Betty. And there's her cell phone number. And send a message. Ta-da! That's all you got to do. Now, however, it is just a link. Here, let me pull up my messages. There we go. I'll be able to share this in just a second. All right. Got to. All right, so let's bring in my messages. Here's my text messages. And this is what it looks like. There's a link to the listing. Contact Debbie Fajardo. Stop to cancel. Okay, you got it. Let's go back to Paragon. So here's the share, and I could use the collab link. So that's that same link that goes to Collaboration Center. Now this, it requires a little bit more work because I'm on a Mac, so I can text on my computer here. So there's the collab link. So if you copy this link, you can share it with others. So and here's the link. So I just copy my link, and this is what it looks like. Same thing we've been showing through the collab link. Same thing on the mobile device. So let's copy the link. It's been copied. Now I go to my messages, and I paste, hit return, and typically the photo is supposed to show up. It's not a monitored number. Okay, never mind. Let's send it to the husband. Paste, enter. He always knows when I'm teaching. So this is why I like being able to share that collab link. You can do it via text. Just depends on what computer you are on, how savvy you are. Because honestly, you could open up Paragon on your phone and use it this way as well. That will work too. Okay, so I hope you guys like that the ability to text listings right out of Paragon. Absolutely love it. There's no automated way to do it. So you can't set somebody up. You cannot set Betty Buyer up on text listings. It just doesn't work like that. Sorry. Alrighty, gang. I think we've gone through everything. You want to know one more thing? So I'm still in my comment. Let me go back. If Betty Buyer said, "Hey, you know that really cute yellow house you sent me yesterday?" I'm like, "Sure," because I pick every one of those listings and send them out to you. So, what was that MLS number? Where was that one? I'm like, oh, jeez. I don't know which one it is, but I know how to find it. So let's go under Betty Buyer. And over on the left-hand side of all the options you can do for her is the message history right there. Share your listings, via text. So there's my text. I didn't even know that the text messages go through there. That's awesome. Learn something new every day. So there's my Collaboration Center activity. And then there's the manual email. That was the welcome. So it had to have been under this one. So I select it here. Then I can scroll down and see which one it was. Oh, yeah. Of course, I can set you up with a showing. So that's another one of those hidden little gems that they love to be able to say, you know that listing you sent me yesterday? There it is. All right, so I think I've gone through everything. Adding your client, creating a search, setting up the notifications, what's your buyer's site look like, how to advertise yourself and your services a little better to your clients. And then, hey, don't forget if you have sellers, adding them into your Collab Center site is a really cool thing to do as well. Alrighty, gang. Well, thank you very much for attending today, and I will get this class uploaded to YouTube. It might be a day or two. It might be 3 or 4 days at this point in time. One never knows. But remember, our YouTube channel is full of classes already on all of the subjects that we have. So I appreciate all of you guys. All right. Oh, I appreciate it, Tamara. Take care. Take care, Karina. All right. Bye, everybody.